As part of what it's also called its Elevate project, Uber is banking on a major re-engineering of the air traffic control system. The current one isn't geared to handle the flocks of new aircraft that Uber envisions. We need to handle a lot more air traffic flying over cities than has ever been done before, Holden said. We need a foundational reboot of the air traffic system. Uber plans to do that by putting its Uber Air operations into an existing NASA project to open up the nation's airspace to drone traffic called UTM, for Unmanned Aircraft System Traffic Management. But UTM is still far from completion, and Uber's piloted vehicles will be far larger and heavier than any drone. A long-time aviation analyst's take, good luck with that. Bob Mann, president of the airline consulting firm Wrightworthy Mann & Co., called Uber's 2020 goal purely aspirational, but then that's Uber. He wrote in an email that integrating commercial Uber Air service into the existing air system would start without a vision, protocol, or procedure. Uber might be able to begin commercial flights in time for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, but most likely beyond that time, he added. Indeed, the history of past attempts to modernize the air traffic control system is full of delays. And the air is worse than the roads in one important aspect: Uber can't just start service first and ask permission later. The rest of Uber's aerial effort seems better grounded. Holden pitched it as both a logical response to big city traffic getting worse all the time and an outgrowth of its earlier venture into aerial transportation with its Uber Chopper service. Holden said traditional helicopters will never work for more than luxury commuting. They are too noisy, not safe enough, too polluting and too expensive. We need an entirely new kind of aircraft, Holden said. So instead of a helicopter's one large rotor or the two massive, rotating propellers of a vertical takeoff and landing, VTOL, plane like the Boeing V-22 Osprey, Uber's 4-passenger air taxi will take to the air with 6 electrically driven rotors. That makes an Uber Air taxi simpler and safer than a helicopter and much quieter. There's a lot of sources of sound from a helicopter that are gone from this design, he said. Once transitioned to level flight, it can hit 200 miles an hour and go 60 miles on a charge. A special charger developed by Uber's partner ChargePoint will be able to recharge the battery in 4 minutes. Holden said flight demonstrations should begin in a bit over 2 years, with service ideally launching in Los Angeles and then Dallas beginning in 2020. That would be comfortably before the 2020 to 2022 and 2022 to 2023 time frames that executives at other air taxi projects, Airbus Urban Air Mobility and Volocopter, suggested in a panel here Tuesday. Existing helicopter taxi services suffer from prohibitively high prices. Uber drew headlines and scorn when it launched Uber Chopper by charging $3,000 to take 5 people from Manhattan to the Hamptons. It doesn't want anything close to that for Uber Air. In the early days, pricing will certainly not be less than the cost of driving your own car, but it's also not going to be crazy high, Holden said. Once we kind of stabilize after launch, we'll be able to offer an Uber Air ride at an UberX price. I know that I'd pay a healthy premium to have an Uber Air whisk me across Las Vegas during CES and free me from that giant tech conference's hellish traffic. But I strongly suspect that 5 years from now, I'll still be taking a regular Uber or Lyft across Vegas, except that CES gridlock is already so bad that it's often faster to walk. More from Rob. Email rob@, follow him on Twitter at @RobGuerrero.